From the moment we enter school, we're trained to sit, listen, and follow instructions. We're told to be quiet when we speak, to ask for permission when we want to go to the bathroom, and we're given strict schedules that control our every move. So, what is the goal behind this, you might think? Their ultimate goal is to mold us into obedient slaves, to do their bidding for the lowest wage possible. And when we graduate and enter the job market, it's no different. Society has spent years conditioning us to be slaves to the system. Take a look at how Gen Z is reacting to this as they enter the job force.
When I say I fucking hate LinkedIn recruiters, I fucking hate them! Who post this long ass paragraph shit on LinkedIn being like, DMs are open, I want someone that really wants it. Bitch, I fucking want it! I don't know what the hell I gotta prove to you to show you that I actually want it. I've been looking for a job for 16 months! Like, is that not enough to make you want to at least consider me? Give me an interview, bro. At least an interview. Like, I can't even get interview practice in. I've had a senior VP give my resume, and I still can't get an interview. By the way, joke of a fucking job market. Move the fuck out of here. Or though, honestly, wherever the fuck you go, you can't get a job anyways.
Here's my resume and my transcript. I graduated from a top university with a 4.0 GPA.
That's great. You should work at Panda Express.
What?
Yeah, or Chipotle. You could make $70,000 a year being a manager.
Okay, but I went to college so I wouldn't have to work at a fast food restaurant.
Ah, you spoiled kids these days. You think a career should just be handed to you?
No, and that's why I busted my ass to get through school.
Listen, most of our workforce comes from overseas, and they work 80 hours a week for pennies on the dollar. You kids just can't compete with that.
Well, why the hell did your generation tell us to go to college if you're just going to pull the rug out from under us?
Hey, that's just business. They should have taught you that in school.
With all due respect, sir, I think that's really unfair.
Listen, when I was your age, I got a job at McDonald's, okay? And after 6 long months of working there, I bought my first house. 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, humble beginnings.
Okay, but times have clearly changed. That's impossible these days.
Oh, blah, blah, all this damn belly aching. What you need to do is pull yourself up by your bootstraps and work full-time at Panda Express, all right? While me and my indentured servants increase shareholder value.
I am not going to work at... What the fuck?
Oh, looks like your fate is already sealed.
No. I have a master's degree in computer science.
Guess what? No one gives a shit. Bye-bye.
No! No!
Although that last TikTok was goofy, there are countless more videos out there on TikTok and YouTube of Gen Z explaining their terrible life situations and how they were lied to by the older generation. But here's the truth that no one told us we weren't prepared for the real world like older generations were. For the boomers, going to college and getting a traditional job worked. There is no doubt about that. College degrees used to be golden tickets to a good job. Today, they're just expensive pieces of paper that barely guarantee a job. In fact, student loan debt is at an all-time high, and the job market is worse than it's ever been. And yet, we're still told that college is the only way to succeed. Newsflash for any boomers or college bootlickers. College doesn't guarantee success, it only guarantees that you're going to pay for the privilege of being told what to do for the rest of your life. But when we look at how things have progressed since then, Gen Z is coming to one simple conclusion. We were set up to fail, and now we are stuck with the system that rewards young, ambitious hard workers with modern-day slavery. While it was pushed to pursue our passions and not just the money growing up, sadly, Gen Z doesn't have that luxury at all. Many fields today pay lower than the cost of living, so many are giving up on their career hopes and dreams they were once promised in school. So, how did we get here? Think about your school experience. Were you ever really encouraged to think for yourself? To challenge authority? Chances are you didn't or were not allowed to. In school, we're trained to follow orders. We're told to sit down, shut up, and do as we're told. And this conditioning doesn't stop when the bell rings. It is meant to carry over into the workplace. From an early age, we have been taught that authority figures know best. Teachers, principals, managers, they all tell us what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. We're taught that obedience is the key to success, not innovation or questioning the system. The message was clear. Just do what you're told, and you'll get by. But obviously, since many Gen Z see the bullshit in that message, they are waking up. And it doesn't stop there. You might think that as you get older, you'll get more freedom, but that's just another illusion of false hope. As soon as you enter the workforce, you realize that everything you were conditioned to believe about independence and freedom is a lie. The rules are not only stricter, but the punishment for questioning them is harsher. Getting laid off at your job right now could basically result in you losing your home, children, or even food. The job market is so dogshit right now that not only is it close to impossible to find a job, it always results in long hours being rewarded with dogshit wages. Remember when you were in school and looked forward to the weekends? For a lot of us, it was the only time we had to escape the prison we called school. Even as adults, we are conditioned to only get a break on weekends and holidays. The whole work week grind is designed to make us feel like we are lucky to have 2 days off, or to make us grateful that we have time to rest after working our lives away. But sadly, Sunday is usually spent prepping for work the next day, or running errands for basic living needs. I would totally get behind a 4 or even 3-day work week, as people nowadays need more time to figure things out considering how much we are expected of at the workplace. But more often than not, we're told by boomers and greedy corporate D-bags that this is just how life works. You spend 5 days a week working for someone else, and then you get to relax for 2. And when we're stuck in this cycle, it becomes hard to imagine a life outside of this system. We're conditioned to accept this as the way things are, without ever questioning if it's even right. When it is all just the biggest scam to provide cheap labor and keep you on your knees slaving for a system that turns, it's back on you every chance it gets. It is one thing if the system rewards hard work, but no matter how much work you put in, it seems to never get Gen Z ahead. This brings many people who actually think critically to wonder, how many times have you followed rules that made no sense at all? Whether it's pointless meetings, unnecessary paperwork, or useless policies at work, we're told to follow the rules without questioning them. And why is that, you say? Because being a good slave means not resisting their mindless orders from a greedy piece of shit boss. Their forced way of thinking wants employees to not ask questions and just do the job and know their place. Companies may spew bullshit such as "we see our employees like family here at this company." I don't know about you, but forcing random people that you probably usually would never converse with ever on your own is never a good idea. Not to mention you are forcing everyone to be there every day, which only makes people less likely to want to be social, as your coworkers are usually stupid. I may sound a bit harsh, but in all honesty, the average American is actually quite stupid. From working a fast food job in my teen years and then 3 retail positions, it doesn't matter if people are old and more experienced. Their requests and demands usually led me to the conclusion that they were just stupid in general or ignorant to anyone else's input. This same thing happens in school, where you have to obey rules with kids you would never choose to hang out with ever. You're expected to sit in straight lines, raise your hand to speak, and ask for permission to do anything. In the workforce, it's the same deal. Bosses and managers want obedient workers, and they don't care about your creativity. As long as you're doing what you're told, you're good. This conditioning starts in school and doesn't stop at the office. The real question is, why do we keep following rules that don't make sense? When we were kids, we were encouraged to dream big. We were told that we could be anything we wanted, from astronauts to musicians to entrepreneurs and innovators. But as soon as we hit 18, it was like a switch flipped. Suddenly, those creative dreams became unrealistic. And instead of encouraging us to follow our passions, society pushed us into jobs that crushed our spirits. I think I speak for a lot of Gen Z males when I say, if people told me a job didn't make a lot of money, I would dismiss it right away. I mean, why the hell would anyone want to work a job that doesn't pay enough to live on your own? I know that everyone and their mom was telling me in high school to go into tech or information technology, saying to me, "You will make 6 figures fast and it's easy." Long story short, it wasn't even close to being easy, which I mean was fine because I was going to be getting paid a lot more because of that, right? And that was bullshit too. I came to realization that no matter how much I applied or how many certificates I got, they simply would not hire me, or the job just straight up would not exist. It's one thing to be entitled to a job without earning the credentials, but when you have earned the credentials and have gone above and beyond, and you still can't land a job, that is when you know it is just a dogshit system, and us hardworking young people shouldn't be blamed as we usually are. I did receive about 10 interviews in total over the span of 6 to 8 months of applying, however. All of these wasted my time and had no regard for my schedule, as I was working full-time while taking these interviews. all to lowball me with dogshit wages or try to gaslight me into thinking I wasn't a right fit or not qualified enough for the job despite it being entry level, and also while I had met every single requirement and more. I guess the point I am trying to make here is you can go into a field for money nowadays, but you'll still end up receiving a dogshit wage as you would pursuing a more enjoyable career. If I could go back in time to when I was first going into college, I would reject college and use my technical skills to go into a field that I was more passionate about in the first place, rather than focusing on money and let alone listening to people older than me who had a way different world and experiences than we do today. This led me to the conclusion from experience that a degree is useless. The only thing a degree says about you to an employer is, I'm a good slave, and I will do exactly what you say, and I can prove it because I did it for 4 years in college. I hope that if you are younger watching this video, do not go through the same mistakes I did where you graduate, apply for jobs, and get rejected not because you're lazy, but because the system is built to favor the rich and those with connections. There's no real room for you to get ahead unless you're already ahead. We were promised a bright future. We were told that our hard work would lead to success. But we weren't told about the barriers. From sky-high housing prices to skyrocketing debt, the game is rigged, and we're left holding the biggest L any generation has yet to hold. And for what? Just so that we stay controlled forever until we are old, so we can enjoy our last 5 to 10 years living with the scraps of our non-existent pensions and retirement savings. It is all bullshit, and I believe all of the Gen Z can and should see right through it. Here's the truth. The system we've been conditioned to accept is broken. The lie is that hard work always equals success. The truth is, the system is designed to keep you down, and creativity is punished. But here's the real power we have, which is rejecting the system. Rejecting the notion that we have to follow a path that doesn't serve us. We are the generation that can break free from the bullshit of this endless cycle of work, debt, and burnout. It won't be easy, and it won't be quick. But it's time we start questioning everything. We're not going to be slaves to the system. Generation Z can change the world. And it starts with demanding a future that isn't controlled by the lies we were told.